We got wrestling flashbacks with a wrestling video. Make sure y'all give you a thumbs up. You feel me? It really help the channel. You know what I'm saying? And then my social media is down below. Make sure y'all hit the cash up too. Donations or hit the donations in the with the comment section. Make sure y'all get a video some comments. No matter if it say W if it's an emoji, just comment. Not gonna count. It'll push, it'll push us out more. You feel me? To other people that ain't subscribed yet. Let's get into it.
Some of these decisions and fallout that came from them, as well as 10 things wrestlers regretted in WWE. In the scripted promo era, wrestlers would often be given dialogue they weren't comfortable with or would never normally say, but not everyone had the stroke or were in a high enough position to turn stuff down. This was the case for Shelton Benjamin in July 2000.
Oh no, he ain't no
match with Japanese wrestler Yoshitatsu. Shelton was asked to cut a stereotypical promo, making fun of Japan and the accent.
Yoshi-san, gold standard.
You know what? You know what? Know what's the crazy thing? I remember that too. I ain't gonna lie. Bishop McMahon used to be, man, look, he used to be sick, I ain't gonna count. He used to be sick, like all that racial shit he used to. Y'all already know. Yeah, y'all wrestling fans. That's why y'all here.
You picked wrong night. Who come here? Stand back or I call Godzilla.
It's something Benjamin deeply regrets and wishes he had refused, as revealed in an interview with Chris Van Vie in 2024.
To me, the biggest black eye of my career. It didn't reflect who I was then. It doesn't reflect who I am now. That's the one thing I wish I would have put my foot down and go, I'm not doing this.
Jinder Mahal was someone who also fell victim to awful writing. During his run as WWE champion, Mahal didn't want to just be another
awful writing. Jesus Christ. I don't want to even. Was I watching wrestling during this time?
But tried telling that to Vince McMahon, who booked him as such, and insisted Jinder cut another unfunny and woefully bad anti-Japanese promo. This time it was Shinsuke Nakamura on the receiving end, during an episode of SmackDown from September 2017.
Shinsuke.
September 2017.
The same. They call you Mr. Miyagi. With somebody.
Nah, I was going to 2017. I was going through a whole lot of shit. So nah, I won't watch wrestling for like a couple months. Damn sure when he was on the when he had the belt. I knew he had the belt, but I wasn't watching it. Fuck no. I had a whole lot of shit going on 2017 anyway.
They will tell you look like Pikachu is having a seizure.
In an interview with Chris Van Vie, Mahal spoke about being very apprehensive, but Vince was persistent.
So I even asked Vince, like, this is going to get negative backlash. He said, no, don't worry, who cares? It did the promo, was not happy with it, not proud of myself for doing it. Really wish that I could take that moment back.
After receiving much negative backlash from the promo, the WWE PR team wrote an apology statement for Jinder to tweet, but McMahon told them not to post it.
Came up with a statement, and as we were about to tweet it, he said, actually, Vince changed his mind. He said no.
Despite being consistently pushed in a top position on WWE programming, behind the scenes, things were beginning to unravel for Randy Orton in 2005 due to substance abuse issues, as well as late night partying.
It was getting worse and worse, and I was gonna kill myself.
Both of which forced him to miss a rehearsal for his match with The Undertaker the day before WrestleMania 21.
Because I was up all night the night before. I slept in through the alarm, and I missed the entire Undertaker rehearsal. That's probably one of my biggest regrets in the business.
Later that night, Orton inducted his father, Cowboy Bob, into the Hall of Fame. Randy was still going on barely any sleep and didn't prepare a speech ahead of time, something he would live to regret after how the induction went.
I had no notes, no speech. I went up there and I winged it, and it was probably less than 90 seconds. I was out of it. That was probably one of my biggest fails. It's not giving my father his proper due, what he deserved. That's probably my biggest regret.
In another incident in 2006, Orton made a comment disrespecting Eddie Guerrero,
who God
passed away.
Eddie ain't in heaven.
Oh God, I remember that one too.
Randy describes it as the most uncomfortable thing he ever had to do in his career.
100% was not comfortable with it. Ray and myself went to Vicky, and Vicky gave us her blessing, and she said the same thing. Eddie would have wanted to help you guys in this manner.
Triple H has never been shy when it comes to dishing out personal jokes.
Eddie, give me Ric Flair's number.
Pop it up, Jumping Team. I was thinking about writing a book on nutrition.
Really? What are you going to call it? How to lose 50 pounds in 4 weeks?
I ain't gonna count. Triple H is the worst motherfucker. That's what I be saying.
Certain personnel, including comment.
Don't let that motherfucking suit and that bow tie and that bald head, not that where that cut, that regular cut hair fool y'all. That nigga would take out that shit, get on y'all ass. No cap.
Have made in the past about Lillian resembling a horse.
Lily wants to come back here for one night to the WWE just to horse around.
But there was one comment the game was forced to publicly apologize over. The remark in question occurred during a media scrum, which was recorded by Inside the Rope ahead of NXT UK's Takeover Blackpool event at the start of 2020. When being asked about Edge and Page potentially returning to WWE, Hunter spoke about other wrestlers like Daniel Bryan, who'd also been medically disqualified, but ended up stepping back in the ring.
Such a failure. Daniel Bryan's such a failure in my eyes. He failed all of us. I ain't gonna count.
Healthy lives. You know, Edge has kids. You know, Paige, maybe she probably has some she doesn't know of, but thank you.
Triple H posted an apology on Twitter. Meanwhile, Paige had already responded, first with a tweet of her own, and then during an interview with Sportskeeda a few weeks later.
Obviously, I was a little bit.
Paige was alright too. She went all that. She was alright.
Like, he's someone that I truly
She ain't no Becca Lynch.
I just don't think it was appropriate to joke about.
Throughout their time together, the WWE always viewed Edge as having more upside than Christian. So after the two split in 2001, it was important for Christian to make an impression and switch things up, but he chose to keep the same appearance, something he now regrets looking back on.
You know, when Edge and I split up, I don't think I did myself any favors by not really changing the Christian part of Edge and Christian. I still came out as the guy that looked like Christian from Edge and Christian.
I was too immature and inexperienced at the time enough to realize I should have completely done the change then.
In 2002, Christian seemed to get lost in the shuffle until he joined the Un-Americans faction. Here, he was asked to cut his hair, but pushed back on it as he wanted to wait until he was a single star again, which eventually happened the next year. The decision to have Nexus lose at the 2010 SummerSlam shocked fans. The group definitely suffered from it, but it was the way in which they lost did even further damage. While the call to Nexus lose against Team WWE came from the higher up.
Nigga, nobody from the Nexus in WWE no more, except for Wade Barrett. That's fucking diabolical, if you ask me. But okay.
It was up to the talent to work out the finish. John Cena decided that it would come down to him against Wade Barrett and Justin Gabriel, where Cena would take a DDT on the exposed
Justin Gabriel, hey, that bit was tough. No cap.
The DDT within 90 seconds and winning the entire bout within 3 minutes. Despite pushback from the Nexus and John's teammates on the night, Edge and Chris Jericho, Cena went ahead with the planned finish, but later admitted he was wrong in doing so, as told by Wade Barrett and Edge on Inside the Ropes.
I guessed wrong on the way that the story was told, and I think that's why people are so up in arms about it. But we tell so many stories. I was wrong once.
You know, we got told that finish, and Chris and I went, well, what? That makes no sense. They gotta go over.
Later on that day, we spoke to John Cena too.
And now they ain't none of them people don't even wrestle no more in the WWE.
So happy. I thought it was.
So did all that fucking pushing for nothing.
It was a bad decision, and that's how we did it.
Kurt Angle made his long overdue return to WWE in 2017. And while his subsequent run wasn't what any of us would have hoped for, Kurt's retirement match at WrestleMania 35 should have at least been memorable. However, Angle's comeback had been marred by bad booking from the higher-ups, and unfortunately, this was set to continue. As in his last ever match, Kurt was to face Baron Corbin. The two had previously feuded, with their storyline coming to an end after a match on Raw, and despite 99% of fans and Angle himself campaigning to have John Cena as his final opponent, Vince McMahon wouldn't budge, insisting that Kurt wrestle Corbin. This was something no one wanted, and it tainted what would have been a memorable farewell for Angle.
Right
Said, no, because you're doing a program with Baron Corbin, you have to finish this program, but I'll give you John Cena next year. And I said, Vince, I don't want to wait a year. He said, well, then you don't have a choice. You're going to have to wrestle Baron Corbin. I'm not crazy about wrestling Baron, only because of his status at the time, but I think maybe the company might have been a little bitter about my departure in 2006 and, you know, heading to TNA for 11 years and then coming back.
Cena being Kurt's last opponent after Angle had been Cena's first match in 2002 would have been poetic and one hell of a WrestleMania moment. It writes itself, really, so the decision not to do it will go down as one of the most mind-boggling choices in wrestling history.
Okay.
Zack Ryder took the wrestling internet by storm
Whoa,
at the end of the year
You
and
know
found himself a featured role on TV. This after starting up his YouTube show, Z
I don't count.
Story, as a way to create buzz.
I don't know where he was at, but I seen a recent video match with him, and boy, also Chelsea Green husband.
But it would all come crashing down for Ryder within a matter of months. He lost his girlfriend Eve in storyline and got pushed off the stage by Kane and was never able to get revenge on either wrestler. The WWE had also moved his show to their channel, meaning it got watered down and wasn't fun to produce anymore. As a result, Ryder says he regrets giving WWE such control. Speaking about this on his MC True Long Island Story podcast.
I didn't want to move it. I did not want to do it. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to keep doing it. And I knew they were going to start editing it. I knew it would become a job. And it did.
Ryder believes he should have ended his show there and then. It had served its purpose after all. However, in 2012, Zack fell back down the card. He pretty much spent the rest of his time with the company either losing or wrestling on the C shows. At the height of his popularity, where he was a big merch seller and one of the most followed wrestlers on social media, Ryder believes he should have asked more questions of the higher-ups regarding his place.
This generation of the mid card.
During that time, I could have easily.
I ain't gonna lie. That time with the mid cards, 2011, 12 was fucking bad years of wrestling, in my opinion. Like, it was so terrible. Now that I look back at it, I was just a kid watching the shit.
Like, hey, what's going on?
I just love to see it come. But
so I don't have an answer. So I blame myself. I'm not going to say WWE buried me. I think that's the cop out. That's the easy way out. Of course. I never wanted to take that out.
During their time with WWE, it seemed like every time Wilson was put in some sort of bra and panties skit or bikini contest. Quite surreal to look back on, but this was a sentiment from the company at the time. Though it's even more crazy now that we know how uncomfortable Tori was participating in these types of segments, as she described in an interview with Chris Van
I just had like a certain amount of like PTSD from like being so vulnerable out there and feeling like I was put in this kind of like raunchy role that wasn't me.
Tori discussed moments where she was nearly driven to tears but put on a brave face, owning each segment and pushing through the fear. Before facing Chris Jericho for the AEW Championship at Full Gear 2019, Cody Rhodes announced that if he lost, he could never challenge for the belt again.
If I do not defeat Chris Jericho at Full Gear, I will never challenge for the AEW World Championship again.
A decision that the company would have to uphold after Rhodes ultimately came up short at the pay-per-view. All Elite Wrestling had just started up with Cody as one of their MJF, so it's thought that the American Nightmare came up with this stipulation so that he wouldn't ever be seen as using his position to become world champion.
So to make political decisions like boxing myself out of winning a world championship, those decisions in hindsight were not the correct decisions. And if I can't be the best wrestler in the world on television because I'm afraid I'm going to offend colleagues because I am also their boss, that was the situation we were in, and I just played it in the middle.
You can't do that.
In the middle I could do.
Over the next 2 years, Rhodes would instead compete for and become the TNT champion multiple times. But by late 2021, it started to feel like Cody had booked himself into a corner. If he could never challenge for the main title, what more was there to do in AEW? His run with the promotion didn't last too much longer, and Rhodes has since revealed that banning himself from challenging for the world title was a mistake. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out a similar video.
I don't care what I was saying about the generation 2011 when Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns came in the picture, bro. Wrestling changed, like, and then when they separated, wrestling fucking changed, like, in a good way. Like, I think 2013 whenever they made their shit debut, that's when wrestling changed. Not gonna cap to y'all, right? You know, that wrestling changed for the new generation. Now we're going through a whole other phase with new people coming in and making the company even better. Brian Breaker, I forgot, it's a couple more other NXT. I forgot Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, all them players. You know what I'm saying? That's Neil Dragunov. I think I said his first name totally wrong. It's so many that, you know, so I got my eyes on that I can see that definitely had a future. It's another black dude. I forgot his fucking name. He be high flying and shit off in NXT. He got dreads too. He be working with Trick Williams. I forgot his name. Y'all, I'm pretty sure y'all gonna tell me in the comment section. But I see a future in a whole lot of these new people. You feel me? Just like how I gave Seth Rollins a chance. You feel me? And look at them now. Both Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, the head of the company, like the face of WWE now. You feel me? Literally. Let's go on ahead and give you a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Social media will be in the description down below, also with the original video. See you when I see y'all. Let's ride.